Hello and welcome to Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know, the survival guide for late adolescence, but also Medellin, Colombia. I'm Max Emerson, a writer-performer leveraging social media to create independent narratives. Similar to my other endeavors, this podcast is designed to provide vital resources, role models, and tools that enhance your well-being, foster connections, and support personal growth from late adolescence onwards. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we've got Andres on again, my partner of over 8 years now. Is that correct? 8 years?
I believe so.
We are going to be doing a relationship-focused Ask Me Anything.
Yay.
We're going to try to keep this brief. I famously believe that if anyone's talking about themselves for longer than 15 minutes, they probably shouldn't be talking about themselves. Also, this is going to be a little bit more of an Ask Andres Anything question. He's going to kind of lead the answers here because I do have a tendency of oversharing.
Mm-hmm.
Before we begin, though, it's come to my attention that I've never been on the receiving end of a rapid-fire series of questions. So without any further ado, Andres is going to lead us in a segment we like to call Who the Hell Are You?
Who the hell are you?
I'm ready.
Name?
Max.
Zodiac sign.
Virgo.
What are you expert in?
Nothing.
How do you identify?
I am a very gay male.
Favorite animal?
You.
Least favorite animal?
Cockroaches.
Ooh, last thing you ate.
Ooh, hot honey chicken from Sweet Green.
Okay. How many caffeinated drinks do you drink per day? Don't
Today,
lie.
4.
Don't lie.
Today, 4. Here's 2 of my
Caffeinated
thermos-
beverage of choice?
Black coffee.
Biggest pet peeve?
People who are mean to animals.
Dream vacation destination?
Anywhere with you, honey.
Ugh.
Wherever we're going
sport?
next. Favorite sport? Volleyball. Beach volleyball.
Favorite thing about queer bars?
Seeing people I don't normally see anywhere else.
Okay. Scale from 1 to 10. How do you rate things in America for queer people?
America in general is about a 4.5. In Los Angeles, I'd give it a 7.5.
Oh, 7.5?
It's not too bad here. West LA.
Okay. What was the last thing you misplaced? He doesn't remember.
Honestly,
Where was it?
I don't know.
What was the last thing you were super mad about?
Probably something you said.
What was the last thing that made you cry?
Probably something you said.
Location of the worst date you've ever had.
Where did we meet again? No, it was in the parking lot of Plummer Park in West Hollywood with some closeted guy. It lasted all of like 7 minutes. I was like, I'm not hanging out in a car.
Okay. And what is your most prized possession?
Technically, pets are possessions under the law, so I'm going to say Sergeant Pupper, who's currently chasing a fly in the middle of our living room.
Yeah. I wonder if he's in the shot.
He is.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it. You
All right.
survived.
I did. I thought it'd be more difficult. I think I need to go back and revise the questions.
They're easy.
Yeah. Too many softballs. All right, let's start the Ask Me Anything. Andres, are you ready?
I hope so.
Today, we're tackling everything from polyamorous picnics to whether you should worry if your partner's feet are more ticklish than yours. Thanks for those questions, Instagram. They're really illuminating. We've got your questions lined up here, like, why are we the cutest couple ever? That's not a question. We'll also be discussing the trials and tribulations of navigating relationship dynamics, because nothing says commitment like surviving a family dinner while everyone comments on your love life. So buckle up. Grab a snack or a stress ball, depending on your current relationship status, and get ready for a roller coaster of laughs, love, and maybe a little bit of awkwardness, because we didn't really discuss these questions beforehand. Let's get started.
And drama.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt like the stress of living authentically is keeping you up at night? You're not alone. Many of us in the LGBT community face challenges that can disrupt our sleep and overall well-being. I know what it's like to carry the weight of the day into the night. The worries, the stress, and constant pressure can make it hard to unwind. I used to lie awake for hours, replaying conversations and anticipating the challenges of the next day. That's when I found Magnesium Breakthrough. Incorporating it into my nightly routine has been a game changer. It helps me let go of the day's anxieties so I can finally get the deep, restorative sleep I need. Now I wake up feeling more grounded, more myself, and ready to face whatever comes my way. Magnesium Breakthrough is different because it contains all 7 forms of magnesium, each one helping to calm your mind and relax your body. Unlike other supplements, it's designed to support you holistically, helping you both sleep better and feel more centered throughout the day. Take control of your well-being. Visit bioptimizers.com/MaxEmerson and use code MaxEmerson for 10% off your first order. And when you subscribe, you'll get additional discounts, free gifts, and the peace of mind knowing that your monthly supply is guaranteed. Embrace the rest and renewal you deserve. Ever wonder how your daily habits, like your meals, sleep, or stress, impact your health? NutriSense offers a way to take the guesswork out of the wellness journey. For many people, managing health can feel like a shot in the dark. They're trying different diets, workouts, and routines, but without the right information, it's hard to know what's truly working. That is where NutriSense comes in. NutriSense isn't just another health trend. It's a comprehensive program that pairs real-time data from a continuous glucose monitor with one-on-one personalized coaching from expert nutritionists. This combination helps users understand how their bodies respond to food, exercise, sleep, and stress, giving them the insights they need to make informed decisions about their health. What sets NutriSense apart is its unique approach to personalized health. While other programs might offer generic advice, NutriSense tailors its advice based on your unique data. With the support of a board-certified nutritionist, users can receive customized recommendations that align with their specific health goals, making it easier to achieve lasting results. If you're ready to take control of your health, visit nutrisense.io/MaxEmerson to get $50 off your first month. That is nutrisense.io/MaxEmerson. Or you can click on the link in the notes and use my special code, MaxEmerson, for an exclusive $50 discount. Take the first step towards better health with NutriSense today.
Question number 1. These are ranked by like how many times the question's asked.
Okay.
Do you have a polyamorous relationship?
What's that?
Polyamory implies love with multiple people.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't call it love.
No. I don't have time for that.
Gee, that sounds exhausting.
It's exhausting just with you.
Yeah. I'm needy. Do you have an open relationship?
Not with the public.
That's our official answer. Have you ever had a breakup with each other? I'm assuming with each other because, or have you been together this entire time?
We've taken some breaks, like
Mhm.
little steps back,
I called them vacations.
but it's never this like moment where we know we're walking separate ways.
Mhm. Yeah, we live together, we work together, we travel together, and we live, work, and travel together all at the same time sometimes. So there have been moments where we kind of cross all these thresholds in our relationship without even realizing how much of a commitment it really is sometimes. So there have been periods where we kind of like book our travel to be separate or kind of set the expectations as to what our commitment level is going to be. And then we take some time apart, physically at least, to just kind of reacquaint ourselves with ourselves as individuals, I think
Yeah.
is the best
And
way
on
to
the work
describe
front, we've both like fired each other and hired each other multiple times.
it. In one day. How long have we been together, Andres? Let's just say it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 7.5 years.
8.5.
Martin Luther King weekend, January,
I was like, what does he have
is
to
our
do with
is
this?
is our hookup
He had a dream.
anniversary. Yeah, he had a dream. 8 years ago on Martin Luther King weekend in Brooklyn was the day we met. So we're going on 8.5 years. Our monogaversary was a few months after that. So
It was like in April.
yeah, so we're on our way to 9 years at this point.
Yeah, crazy.
Hmm. How is the baby process going?
We keep trying.
We keep trying. We have an entire Ask Me Anything strictly related to adoption questions. There's a lot to unpack there, so we're going to just do that
In a
that.
separate episode.
Yep. Will we become parents
Yes.
or else? If we have to steal someone's children, no. Will you have a wedding ceremony?
We're already parents to a beautiful baby boy dog.
There's something wrong with it, like referring to having a pet as parenthood, and I can't put my finger on it. So you can refer to it that way, but I'm going to refrain. There's a question here that says, will you have a wedding ceremony in 2 years?
Maybe. Right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's actually kind of the timeline we've been saying. Did your love evolve overnight? Over time? Did your love evolve
into a
over
werewolf?
time
What did it evolve
until
into?
you were engaged? Yes, on full moons, it gets a little weird in this house. Or did you two know it was love at first sight?
I think it was various attraction levels and
Mhm.
commitments and
We were in our late 20s when we met, living in Brooklyn, New York. I was in the habit of doing what I referred to as reverse dates, where I would hook up with someone first and then get to know them. Because sometimes uh, someone's personality would be kind of a turnoff. Like we just wouldn't vibe, and then we wouldn't hook up. And sometimes I just wanted to hook up, and it would be better to just like get right to it. So we actually got to know each other, and maybe even learned each other's names in the shower after hooking up. Is that too much to share?
I think I all that tells you is I passed both personality and the other test.
There were a lot of tests there. Well, he had a cat, and I'm deathly allergic to cats. So when we had done the deed, we jumped in the shower. It's also January in New York, so it's freezing everywhere. But the shower is a test. Like, can you share the shower head? Like, what kind of soaps do you have? Like, is
Uh,
the bottom of your floor slippery? Like, there was a lot of things going on there. But we ended up in the shower for like 90 minutes, just chatting and hanging out. And
I didn't have a test.
you just don't call them tests. They just sort of
Vibes.
it's a vibe. Yeah, vibe check. Are you both verse
Yeah.
to varying capacities? What are the updates to the wedding?
We are working on it. We would like to get married, but it's very expensive and we want to prioritize having kids, and that's also
Mhm.
very expensive. So we are taking it as it comes, and yeah, we want to throw a party.
It's not even about the money. Do you have any idea how much work it is to do a wedding? Just like sending out, like making the guest list alone is like 3 days of work. I have no capacity to be doing that right now. Like we're technically common law married at this point, I think, because we've been together and shacking up for so long that like
Shacking
from
up.
like a legal standpoint, it doesn't really matter.
No.
But we are absolutely going to have a wedding. It's just, like, that show Marriage or Mortgage? We chose mortgage. And now we're choosing adoption first because do you have any idea how much work it is to adopt a baby?
Yeah.
It takes me like 5 minutes to plug in a device in this house because the baby proofers are not just baby proof. Anyways,
Okay.
yeah. Meetings and first impressions. How did we meet?
We met, well, you just described it. We
Mhm.
met very
Brooklyn, New York.
suddenly and then not very suddenly at all.
The story depends on who's asking. If it's like, grandma asking, it's, oh, we were living really close to each other in Brooklyn, New York about
Lived
eight
in the
years.
same
We were
neighborhood.
in the same neighborhoods. We just, kind of bumped into each other and dropped our groceries on the floor and had to help each other pick them up. And then I realized my bologna was in his bag and I had to go over and get it later. It depends on who's asking. How did you meet him? How did you meet him? Where did we meet? When did you meet him? There's a lot of questions about that because it feels like people are having a hard time like making a memorable first experience when they meet someone. Because I think with dating apps being the default mode of meeting people nowadays, uh, it's become a little too casual and it's getting sort of hard to tell people apart. And as much bliss as there is in having a goldfish brain, there it does kind of make people feel a little disposable at times if you're not careful with it.
Interesting. I
Mm.
was going to say that I think it makes for really high expectations for meeting in
Mm.
person. And so people romanticize this moment of the first encounter
Mhm.
when it could happen like any which way
Yeah.
and it doesn't really matter. It's what matters like how you just treat each other afterwards. But people think it's like supposed to be this magical thing. And if it's not like this Disney storybook setting, then it's not it. But
I agree. I'm 100% with you on this. I think that people have these moments and these expectations built up on their head about what something's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like that, Lady in the Tramp moment with the noodles, or like New Year's is a big one where people like need that moment at midnight, or Valentine's where it's supposed to be flowers and massages, and like there's like this moment people have built up in their head as opposed to just letting something happen. They try to force it, and it's not one moment. There was a general ask me anything when people asked when the moment was that I knew I was in love with you. I was like, I there were a lot of moments, and then I had to like go be alone for a second to like let them all sink in together. I don't know. I have a big thing about this. People like become divas on their birthdays, and it's exactly the thing you're describing, and I think it leads to a lot of problems.
yeah,
Um, what was our first date?
I would say the morning after, I think you took me to a restaurant like below your apartment, and I think
I
I
miss that
bought
place.
like an $8 grapefruit. It's kind of all I remember
Oh, with
from
the
like
brulee
their morning.
torch
Yeah,
sugar,
yeah.
Williamsburg. I think our first date was after we did our thing. It was Sunday morning, Martin Luther King weekend. We went our separate ways and, like went about our day. I went to a dinner at a friend's house in Harlem that the drag queen Willem was at, along with like Bianca Del. It was a cool dinner, and everyone was like tucking in to go to bed, but Willem was going to go out
Tucking in.
to some.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
I was
Um,
like, you just named all these people.
yeah, tuck those right back in. Willem was invited me to come with them to some party called Horse Meat Disco, which was in my neighborhood. So I had never been. It was always kind of like a faff to get tickets. So I was with Willem. So we just kind of like skipped the whole line. Andres was actually going. We were in touch that evening. So it was really fun to like meet up with Andres there. And I lived in a 4-bedroom apartment. We had a whole floor. It was like the set of Friends with these 3 straight male models. And I think they all had girlfriends at the time, all Latinas. Um, but the kind of the general rule of thumb is that I had to take my sluttiness elsewhere. So I wasn't hosting. I wasn't like bringing strange dudes around the house, but I was super allergic to Andres's cat. And I actually, we were having such a nice time that I invited Andres to come back with me. And I sort of like managed his expectations as to like what that meant. And I had a place in Santa Monica at the same time too. And by inviting him back to my apartment, he kind of became like my default New York boyfriend at the time. So over the course of like 6 months, my roommates were always like, "Ooh, how's Andres?" He was like the one they were always like tracking and rooting for, and all of those things. It was really sweet. So I consider Horse Meat Disco our first date, not the $8 grapefruit spot, but
Okay.
yeah, either one.
Yeah. I mean, but take note, if you want your own space while you're dating someone, get a cat and
Mm,
make sure they're allergic.
if you're dating me.
If you're like me, you want to fuel your body with the best possible ingredients, whether you're working out, staying active, or just looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. That's why I'm excited to share with you Peori's Whey Protein. It's not just any protein powder, it's a game changer. Peori's Whey Protein is sourced from grass-fed cows, ensuring that you're getting a clean, pure, and high-quality protein. What sets this protein powder apart is its simplicity and commitment to quality. There are no artificial sweeteners, fillers, or unnecessary additives, just pure protein goodness with a delicious natural bourbon vanilla flavor. Plus, it's sweetened with organic coconut sugar, so it tastes amazing without all the junk. Whether you're mixing it into your morning smoothies or shaking it up post-workout, Pure Protein Powder delivers 21 grams of protein per serving, helping to support muscle recovery, energy levels, and overall wellness. And for those of us who care about where our food comes from, it's great to know that Peori's Whey is certified by the Clean Label Project, ensuring it's free from harmful contaminants like heavy metals and pesticides. Ready to elevate your protein game? Head over to Peori.com and use my promo code MaxEmerson. That's Peori.com/Max Emerson. Don't mess out. Head to Peori.com/Max Emerson and use promo code Max Emerson today.
Throughout history, people have fantasized about a magical drug that could turn gay guys straight. But what if there was a medication that could make you gayer? Introducing Pride Pills, the completely imaginary prescription medication guaranteed to lighten your loafers by at least 30%. Double-blind, peer-reviewed theoretical trials at the University of Tuscaloosa are conclusive. After just 1 week of taking Pride Pills, participants reported 25% higher recollection of Broadway musical lyrics, 40% more creativity, and a whopping 85% increase in pedestrian walking speeds. Who couldn't use a bit more kindness in their eyes and swish in their step? Try Pride Pills today and get a little glitter in your blood. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, hips that don't lie, expulsion from Muslim countries, intolerance to slow walkers, and in rare cases, spontaneous combustion. What is the history of our first kiss?
What is the history?
I think we covered that. When did you realize he was the one? It's on here too.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. When did they know that you loved Andres, and what age? When did I know that I fell in love with Andres? So I was starting out with like the Instagram getting kind of unwieldy at this point. And people were starting to get a little weird with me in the dating situations. Like people were just kind of being fake with me and project like more. Everyone does this with dating, is they sort of project what they think the other person wants in the like courting phase, especially men, they're guilty of this, the love bombing bastards. But it was getting worse and worse. Like people were getting real crazy with me because they wanted a connection to this imaginary number on the internet. So I kind of had a 6 month rule before agreeing to any sort of monogamy. So I was really holding back a lot. Andres was the first one to drop the L bomb.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a reason why. I think,
Did we go surfing that day?
no, I think I was on some painkiller
Oh.
because of my back or something. And we were in Miami. I forgot why
I stuck you on the back of my motor. I had a motorcycle in Miami.
Yeah, and I was on the
like,
back of your motorcycle, and we'd gone to dinner, and I think I had a drink, which I probably shouldn't have. And then I love bombed that night.
yeah, it was the what are we? It was very cute. It was sort of like that moment you expect when people have their wisdom teeth removed, like when they come back. Like, you think you're special.
It wasn't that bad.
How did you know he was the one?
Oh my God, are these all the same questions?
There's only 4 stories that get told over and over. How did you know? Mine was you literally gave your cat to one of my very close friends because
Yeah, that was a huge commitment
It was killing
moment.
me.
Yeah, it was like I think that's the way I answer the first one. It's just stages of commitments and attractions, and
Mhm.
it all rolls up into love. And
There's moments where there's like no turning back. For
yeah,
me, it was when we got rid of our apartments in Brooklyn. I still had a crash pad in Santa Monica, so mine was even slower stages. And then we took a friend's place in the West Village full on together by ourselves. So I was officially giving up my New York home base for us to be together and do a summer, what was it, 11 months or something in New York before committing to move to LA. So for me, the real line was you moving to LA with me.
yeah.
Because that's the biggest commitment, sacrifice, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, I mean, that was
investment.
also just like a huge weekend.
Mhm.
My brother died that same weekend that
Yeah.
we moved from New York to LA. So it was just a big, like, okay, is this person real in my life? And are
Mhm.
they there for me? Or am I like in LA all of a sudden alone?
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a huge test,
I'd say
which,
LA is probably like
yeah.
is our like, are we married moment.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
then,
like deciding to buy a house together
but
the
then,
next 2
like,
years later
yeah,
is like, yeah, of course, this
we
is what we're
moved to
doing.
LA, and then a month later we got Sarge.
Mhm. Yeah, that
So
was it. It
like
was
then it
Sarge.
was like, okay, now we're ready to invest and get things together and
Sarge
not
is like
worry
our wedding
about it.
ring.
And then like we bought property together, and that
Mhm.
was just huge merge of finances. So it's all been these stages where we look up and we're like, I don't know when the tangle began, but here we are
So,
in
yeah,
this spaghetti.
we're spaghettied. What is the secret to a long relationship?
I don't think there's a secret. I think it's out in the open, right? You just
I
keep
think it's
going.
being
You
completely honest
Yeah.
about whatever it is that you need or what you want, and also being willing to listen when someone's being honest with you. I mean, that's kind of like the simplest thing I always keep going back to when I'm losing my mind or like it's so easy to get caught up in these stories and narratives, but it's like we'll go into this in a moment, but like we have a weekly check-in where we literally just sit there and take a breath and do an inventory of how we're feeling that week and what we need right now in this moment. Because people are always changing and you just have to be honest about what those changes are.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, I would say that everybody, not to get too philosophical, but just that has different needs and different things they want in a relationship and
Mhm.
in a partnership and
Yeah, mine.
roommates, all these components. And it's about communicating what you need and being honest with yourself about like what you actually need. I think a lot of
Mhm,
people go into relationships because the other person has money or they think they're going to have a certain cushy lifestyle,
mhm.
but they might not even realize that that's not really what their needs are. And they get to this place where they have, they're their sugar baby and they have all these things, but they're still unhappy. And it's because they
And they're
weren't
too
really
ashamed to communicate what those needs are now because they're
right.
afraid to hurt someone's feelings. They're afraid of how it'll reflect on them. Like I've told him early on, I don't care if you need to sleep with someone else, but if you do something and I find out you've lied to me, it's going to be really hard for me to recover from that. Like for me, it's like cheating isn't sleeping with someone else; it's lying about it. It's
Yeah.
it's any violation of trust, and that's what I mean with like the sharing and the honesty. And like part of it is that you need to feel like you are invited to share the thing that may be shameful or embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's me. Did we get a lot of top bottom questions? Yeah, actually, we filtered
That's
most of them out. I think it was like 90%.
yeah, that's all people care about.
What do we love about each other? Maybe our therapist asked that one.
What do we love about each other? Well, I don't know. It's part of like the spaghetti thing. It's like there's so many layers to it. It's hard to be like, here's what I'm looking at.
Mhm.
Um, I'd say we I'm kind of gonna answer this as like a relationship. Like do we love about like each other as opposed to like I think it's like we are flexible and we're willing to change. I
Okay.
think it's kind of what's kept us re-agreeing on things.
I love that you're brave. No, I mean, like if traffic sucks, you'll trust me and get on the back of the motorcycle. If you move to Los Angeles with me, like you make all of these leaps. Like you do make sure to like take care of yourself and protect yourself, but you also are willing to take leaps of faith and trust that I had a relationship for several years before that was like the biggest thing. Like they wouldn't say I love you back for years. And that to me is they weren't brave enough to do it.
Hmm,
And I'm sure there was like some stupid power thing at play with that, but like that was a huge deal for me is that you're willing to trust me. I'm
okay.
a hard person to trust. I'm all over the place. What position do you prefer in bed?
Um, like with the pillow
He's a two
kind of
pillow.
between one arm and then another pillow, usually like on top of my leg
Mhm.
with the sleep mask on, with all the blankets all the way around.
Yeah, he's the blanket thief. And in the summer, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. I usually got like one sheet on me and I'm
What's
just like
your
sprawled out
yeah.
on my back.
Then usually I
Sleep
share my
sounds.
half of the bed with
Yeah.
Sarge
In the
because
summer.
let's be honest.
Yeah, in the winter, he's in the middle though, because Andres won't be able to steal the covers from both of us, and he sleeps like right here in the nook. I hope that answered your question. Oh, there's one. Are you top or bottom?
Yes.
Yes. How often do you two have sex? Yes. Are you aware of the scam accounts that you both have?
Yes.
Yes.
PSA. I
Yeah,
mean,
guys, quit
I
falling for these.
there's a factory out there that uses my pictures
Hmm. And
and
mine.
just yeah, both of ours and just tries to scam people out of money.
It's
Uh,
relationship scams. It's like the Prince of
Oftentimes,
Nigeria, but I'm on an army base and need financial support for some reason. After like 2 months of
I mean,
conversations, like it's a long con.
I get maybe 4 notifications a week of people saying
Wow.
that they have talked to one of these accounts, and then I get maybe another 5 or 6 of people just saying that they saw the profile on
Mhm.
Grindr or, some dating app out there.
Yeah, so please don't give those guys any money. It's mostly straight middle-aged ladies that seem to be falling for these scams.
No,
No, not
no,
anymore? That's what it
no,
was a couple years ago. I was
no,
gonna say check on your straight
yeah,
friends,
no,
but
it's all over the place.
it's everywhere?
Yeah, lots of men as well.
Hmm. Whose feet are more ticklish? I'm so sorry. Some things have to be reserved for us. What are some of the challenges you two faced before starting the relationship? Like, what were some of our relationship challenges?
Distance, I mean, you primarily lived in LA and I was in New York.
Hmm.
My cat
Hmm. I
that
had
you were
commitment
allergic
issues
to,
for sure.
you had commitment
Yeah,
issues.
which is
Um,
also trust issues, which is probably me projecting my favorite thing about you.
I mean, I was just a very busy person. I was full time working a consulting career, traveling 90% of the time while doing part time in the Army National Guard as an officer. So my time was very limiting.
Mhm. And I was eating all of it up by inviting him on random adventures, which it turns out are not just fun all the time. They're actually like a whole nother job, it turns out. So burnout happened. This whole section is pretty much about fights, who gets angry easier, spoiler, me, uh, who says sorry first, do we fight? I mean, I think every healthy couple fights. If you're
Every
not
healthy relationship has conflict.
Yeah, like couple or not, like friendships, like you should have conflict in a relationship. Otherwise, you're probably checked out and not really engaging with this person. Um, I kind of want to share like the thing that we took away from couples therapy that I find has been really helpful in the same way that I'll do like a headspace every day to keep my brain active or uh, things like that. Every week, I think it's like Mondays at noon. We'll sit down to like a late breakfast, and there's an exercise where we share 5 things each. We take turns doing this. It's 5 things each that we're grateful for each other for. So I'll be like, "Thank you so much for being on my podcast. Thank you for letting me have my podcast crew take over the entire house." This is where our couch usually goes. Thank you for being so sweet to all of the guests that came in and making people feel welcome when I'm running around like a crazy person. Thank you for the massage after the second day when I
Are we
was
doing it right now? It's
yeah.
Wednesday.
Well, you know what? I feel like I should just finish it. And also, you're very, very handsome. But then, after your 5 compliments, you get to share your grievance. But you have to phrase it when it's about you. You can't say, "You always do this." It has to be, "I feel blank about blank and I need blank." So it's about you. I'm feeling really stressed out from working so hard this week, and I really need verbal affirmation as much as possible. And then the other person has to say that back word for word. No commenting, no arguing, no justifying, no dismissing. It's, you feel tired about working and you need verbal affirmations. Done. And then you can talk about it or whatever. So we do that, and then we go over our calendars for the week, what our goals are. If I need his help with anything, if we know about it beforehand, we try
Yeah.
to put it
If
on
we
the
need like
calendar.
a resource like the house or the car
Yeah, just a straight
space.
up family meeting, because people will agree to things and then it falls by the wayside 3 weeks later, like a laundry situation.
Yeah. What guests are coming when? What do we
Mhm.
have to do in between? Do we need a cleaner here and there?
Yeah, but I mean, I see it with like my brother's family. Is they'll set up a thing that they're like, okay, we got the system, we got the routine, and like over time, people are going to start cutting corners or forgetting, and people are going to start feeling slighted, and then it builds up and boils over. So by doing a mandatory weekly meeting, even when things are good, it prevents things from building up and spilling over.
And your need isn't necessarily a grievance. I think we've sometimes just had needs that are positive and have nothing to do with the grievance.
Mhm.
Like I need more social time
Yeah.
because I'm feeling like I've been just in my own space too
Mhm.
much,
Right.
like
It's supposed to be
just
about
sometimes it's
you.
asking for help from
Mhm.
the other person. And it's not like you did something wrong. It's more of just like, hey, I'm trying to do this and it's really hard. Can you help me with this thing
Yeah. But the idea is to balance the gratitude with the grievances and
or
the
the request?
requests. Yeah. Um, and to really make sure you're listening. And it's really dumb. It doesn't feel, it's not dumb. It feels dumb. It feels simple. You're like, why are we doing this? You're saying like, you just bring it back down to the basics and just sit in the room together and breathe. And it solves a lot of the problems
Yeah.
just by virtue of doing this ritual. So that works for us.
Or
Highly
sometimes
recommend.
we'll start bickering on Sunday and it's like, save it for tomorrow.
No, there are times when like it gets so heated, like man flu, or like when we're hungry, we do have like a timeout button where it's like, hey, I don't have the capacity to be generous with you right now and treat you the way that I want to be treated. I don't have the capacity to even say that when I'm angry. I just go, fuck you, timeout, come back in 30. And I'm usually making food at that point and we'll eat food and come back to it. Because there are times where like a conflict is not going to get solved.
Okay, let's get to questions.
Timeout. How do you manage travel, posting on social media, and maintaining your relationship?
I mean, lots of practice. It's not been smooth. I mean, I've had like moments during travel where I'm like, I am done. I feel like I'm working. If
Mhm.
we do another scene for YouTube, I'm like, and I throw little fits. And it's what's gotten me to now set up boundaries ahead of time where we go on the trip. And it's like, what are my expectations? What do you actually need from me?
Mhm.
I try to really like be on and be like helping, but I also know that I have limits and I get burnt out or
Travel's a tough one because it's harder to
all
take
of that.
personal time for yourself. Like both
Yeah.
of us need a few hours a day completely alone. That being said, two people should not be spending all of their waking moments together. Like you should not be filling every single one of your partner's needs. And it's really tough with what we do, working, living, traveling together. So our biggest thing is finding space for ourselves and
Yeah.
for our own lives, not necessarily just sharing the same friend group all the time.
Yeah. Having
Uh,
different interests.
yeah, I'd just say space. All right, we're gonna wrap this up quickly. Um, what keeps us happy? What do we have in common, and what do we not have in common?
What keeps us happy? Probably we do schedule a lot of fun stuff together and quality time.
Mhm.
I mean, I think one of my big love languages is quality time. So that's what keeps me happy. What was the second question?
What do you have in common and not in common? So his love language would be quality time. Mine are probably more uh, touch and acts of service are probably the ways that I show affection the most. And there's things that you can do where all of those get ticked. And I think it's for us, it's been really just about making sure to do those things. Like you have to water your garden or it will die.
Yeah.
So massages, self-care nights. When we're home, we don't really go on date nights as much as we'll take turns cooking dinner for each other. And we've got an awesome movie set up in here. So we have like a nightly recharge ritual here at home.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like as far as dates and things, we'll just kind of go out to events and stuff, but it's more about just putting it into our regular practice. Practical aspects of a relationship. Who asked for the first dance? What do you think our relationship is like?
Where are we dancing?
Where are we? I guess that was dancing. It was mutual.
Who asked
Looking
for the first
into-
dance?
Um,
Are we in Bridgerton? What is
you
happening?
guys watch too much TV. What is our favorite place for a date night? I'd say a massage spot and like Korean barbecue.
Okay.
Something laid back. What about you?
Yeah, something laid back. I don't know. We do a lot of different things.
Yeah, we've got goldfish brain. We don't really have any set ritual when it comes to doing something special because the whole point of it is to do something special.
Yeah.
That's it for our questions. We like to end each episode on a low note with a segment called Fight Me. Andres has selected a topic from a list of divisive topics. He has decided which stance he's going to take on that topic and whether or not he would like to go first. What'd you pick?
Circumcision.
Circumcision. The Colombian man picked circumcision. And what was your stance on circumcision?
No to mutilation.
And do you want to go first or second?
Second.
Okay. In Defense of Circumcision by Max Emerson. Well, circumcision is a medical tradition.
Tradition.
It is. It's a religious tradition. It is sacred. So I think by speaking out against circumcision, it's Islamophobic. It's what's the word? Anti-Semitic. Circumcision was approved by doctors in like the 1920s. Everything doctors say, especially in like the early 1900s, has to be true. Dr. Kellogg. He was trying to help children stop masturbating so much because something about hair on your palms or blindness or something. He was the inventor of cornflakes, Kellogg's cornflakes. He was the one who really popularized circumcision. He noted in these cultures, these very survivalist cultures, that it was, preventing disease and it made it look nicer, and it would, stop people from wanking so much. And I think that, like, although none of those things really make any sense today, like it doesn't actually have an impact on like sexual transmitted diseases, and all penises already kind of look weird. I think tradition is important sometimes, like my dick should look like my dad's. Fight me.
Are you guys taking a family picture? Is that why they should match? Like what? Why do they need to look the same? Like, in what world does this matter? Tradition? This is like
culture.
Yeah. I think you made very fine points. So if you want to join the medicine of the early 1900s, go ahead and mutilate your child.
That's when vaccines were invented.
Exactly.
Sir, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree. If you like this show, don't forget to share it with your friends, subscribe on your preferred channel, and give us a 5-star rating. Andres, tell them what you'll do if they don't.
I'm going to go over there and make sure you do.
Thank you for listening. See you next time. Say goodbye, Andres.
Goodbye, Andres.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and Jake Wachtel. Additional production by Cass Falding and Chantilly Toison. The episode was recorded by Jason Siegel, Mun Singh, edited by Jesse Trout, and mixed by Mike Fry. Music by Tom Goss. If you like this show, don't forget to share it with your friends, subscribe on your preferred channel, or all of them, and give us a 5-star rating. It would be super, super helpful. Thank you so much to all my Patreon subscribers. You are credited in the show notes. Thank you for listening. See you next time.